Hello YouTube, and today I'll be showing a live commentary about my thoughts on a brand new RuneLabs idea that I thought of maybe just reworking the construction skill, or not so much working the training methods, but construction itself. Currently construction is really boring and our houses are really inorganic. They're just really blocky and squares, and there's no true customization options. So let's go into my house and see what I think about it. Today I'll be comparing Runescape's housing system, Wildstar's housing system, and The Sims, and ideally I feel like all of them would be mixed together. So in RuneScape, it's pretty simple because you have a specific room for each house. Sorry about that. And then it serves your purpose and you fill each slot. So there's a fireplace spot, a chair spot, with a type of chair or fireplace or bookcase. But then you can't really organize anything that you make. Like, you can't place that in a specific spot or rotate it to a specific angle. It's all predetermined. And resulting in that is just a pretty ugly house, I'd have to say, compared to other games. Because you can have a second floor to your house, but it's just squares, and that's really boring. And it's pretty cool that you can have some nice functions in specific rooms, but it'd make way more sense to have just having every option to be built and having specific items be able to do that specific goal. So like, I could place that combat ring anywhere I'd want and rotate it however I want. So it's no doubt that RuneScape's construction system needs to be reworked, in my opinion, and it would be beneficial for the game. So now I'll just switch over to Wildstar, I guess, and then The Sims. Alright, so here we have Wildstar. Wildstar is an MMORPG similar to RuneScape in the fact that you fight things, but it's I'd consider it more similar to World of Warcraft, and it's fighting. You have abilities like this that all work in cones, and it's just a really fun game that I enjoy when I'm not playing RuneScape. It's a lot more intensive compared to RuneScape, which is why I prefer playing RuneScape over Wildstar most of the time. But in Wildstar's housing system, you can place items however you want, and you get a general plot. Here's my plot, and originally all it had was just this grass, nothing placed or anything, no house in the middle. Well, it did have a small house that was really ugly. But with the housing system, you can add different functions to it, like over time you can have a mining plot added, which then you can mine for materials that you can later sell or craft into materials that generate over time. While I'm not suggesting it'd be good for RuneScape, it'd still be pretty cool to have functions like a herb patch or something that you could grow. So as you can see, I'm just mining, which I'll later sell. It's very nice overall, but I don't think it fit for RuneScape. But the cool thing about Wildstar is just housing, like how you place everything. So here is the interior of my house. First of all, this was all originally just one gigantic room, which I slowly added and placed stuff. So here's a rug, and these little things that make that staircase I all added individually, which would be sweet if RuneScape could pull off, but it'd be really hard. You can place items on top of each other. As you can see, the second floor I made was mixing multiple items together. And then you can rotate items however you want. You can raise and lower them, and all sorts of wonderful stuff. So that was upstairs, and here's the basement that I have hardly worked on. But let's just give an example of stuff that you can do. Okay, so now let's just try manipulating the environment to show how you play stuff. Okay. Let's get something decent. So there we go. Place. So you can place any item you want, however you'd like it. So I'll move that, and I can move it. I can resize it. I can make it gigantic, or I can shrink it down. This would be sweet for RuneScape if you could just place items however you'd like and rotate them however you'd like. See right there, I'm rotating. And then there's some advanced options if you want to be very precise. So I can move that just a tiny bit, or move it up, or move it down. I can do that. So it's pretty nifty, and I really enjoy the housing system. You can also stack items on top of each other, which would be really sweet. So Wildstar's housing system is pretty much the only reason why I play Wildstar, at least when I first started, because I heard about it. And just there's so many options for customizability. You can invite people over, and it's also there's also like guild housing, not really housing, but you design a war plot, which is pretty much a PvP battlefield that you design on your own, which is pretty cool, I have to think. Wildstar's housing system is fantastic, but it's still not as great as my favorite out of all of them, which is The Sims 3, which I will soon show you now. Alright, so here we have The Sims. So the cool thing about The Sims is you can build a house completely from scratch, meaning you can build walls however you'd like, or all sorts of things. So let me just work on actually building the house first. Alright, so obviously we'll want walls for our house. So you can just click and drag however long you'd like that to be. Let's move it all the way to here. At least I have to remember how to actually do this. Oh, I click and hold, I think. Okay. There we go. So all I'm do is click and drag, and then you can actually make angled walls, I believe, somehow. Yep, like that. You can create a pretty nifty house. So let me just finish building a basic outline. I kind of like that angle. And there we go. So I've built a house. Well, an outline of a house at least. And then you can move up a floor doing the same process this time. So I think I'll want to make this whole section a balcony. There we go. So just continue with the process of building walls however I'd like. Now I really think this could be easily done in RuneScape, because RuneScape has a bunch of squares on, that's how placing is at least. So why don't we have a system like this? It'd be pretty easy to pull off if you ask me, and we could do so much cool stuff to it. Alright, so now I'll show you how we place stuff. So we need some lights. Let's just put that there to make a demonstration. You can easily put stuff on walls, which I think would work exceptionally well in RuneScape. And then you can place items wherever you'd like on the grid, which would be really nice for RuneScape. So I can take that, I can rotate it, make it at an angle. There we go. Click, drag. And then you can even place stuff on top of that. So let's make that an angle like that. Click and drag. Let's see. And at least know you can put stuff on. I have to figure out how. Okay. Click, drag. So you have to make an example somehow. There we go. And then you can place stuff on top, which would be really cool in RuneScape. So now, the thing that I think would be really nice about RuneScape is once we have a system like this, where we can design houses however we'd like, instead of just being able to build stuff, well obviously that'd be an important aspect of the game, but you would need materials to build stuff within the game. So obviously you need planks, which you could get from logs, you would need logs for just general stuff, you would need metals, mithril bars, rune bars, ore, divination energy for technology, magic runes for all sorts of things, and then you could just use those items that you'd find to craft it. So instead of building onto your house and tearing it down again, you'd just build a variety of items to make in the game. And then once you make those items, you can either sell them to people on the market, or store them in your house, or even just place them in your house for cool things. Finally, occasionally from Slayer monsters, bosses, they would drop a rare item that I think would need to be unique to you, meaning you couldn't trade away, showing that you achieved this rare drop. And then you could incorporate it to a cool dragon skull that you would frame on your wall, or maybe a milestone award. So once you reach 1,000 KBD kills, you get a giant KBD head that you'd frame on your wall. It could also be sweet because you'd make cape racks, cape displays, or other things to show off your various 99s or milestone capes that you could frame on the house. So similar to how I can put a window right here, in RuneScape I'd go along and just place a cape rack there to display my sweet new cape, which would be incredible in my opinion. So there's so much room that we could do and add with RuneScape, and there's just so many cool things that we could do, and it's such a shame that RuneScape's construction skill is how it is right now, because it's so lame. I mean, it's so simple, and compared to modern games right now, and even The Sims 2, you can just customize your house. And an important aspect of RuneScape, or MMOs in my opinion, is the community. Having community events with your guild, your clan, or just hanging out with friends that you could invite to your house. Currently you can invite people, but there's nothing really to do. And imagine being able to take a whole large plot of land like this area right over here, and just having your friends build houses with you on, so that we could make clan citadels have expansions for houses, which would be sweet. There's so many rooms for options and improvement, and that's why I feel like you all should sign my RuneLabs petition, or just engage on the forums and talk about it, because there's so many options for expansion that could make the game cooler and more fun in my opinion. Alright, so here's just a quick update about my forum thread. You can access it on the RuneScape forums and just comment about it. I have a couple little things that I could add to it, but it's pretty cool overall, and just leave a comment, and then there's a link to the RuneLabs post on there, which I'll also provide in the description down below. So thanks for watching everyone. Please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And thank you.